So, a new study suggests that your life may actually flash before your eyes. Although to call it a study is a little generous since the sample size was literally one person. But what happened was that researchers at the University of Louisville were conducting a brainwave study on epilepsy when a patient suddenly had a heart attack and died right in the middle of the brain recording they were doing. And in the 30 seconds before and after his heart stopped, i.e., his time of death, his brainwaves showed signs associated with intense dreaming and with memory recall. Bad news for that guy, but interesting news for science.
So we think we saw that his life flashed before his eyes, or that they flushed out all the... Maybe your body just panics and it basically does everything at once. Because, okay, so when people die, I don't know if this is true or just something that people talk about. They go potty.
I believe that's correct. Yes.
Okay.
I believe they have, for like lethal injections, they have like stuff.
Maybe we kind of do that all over. Like your body's just all, try everything.
Yeah.
We're about to die.
The switches.
Try everything, and one of which is throw out every memory and see if that sticks.
Yeah, honestly, that's as good as an explanation as I've ever heard. I think that, makes the most sense, is just that, like, the brain, they just hit all the buttons,
Yeah.
And
or like, when you turn on a piece of audio equipment and all the lights come on and then they go off and it just leaves the power light. It's the opposite of that.
Yeah. No, I think this is interesting, though, because, like, 50 years ago, like, near-death used to be a very, very taboo topic in science. No one wanted to talk about near-death experiences. And there was actually...
Because of God stuff, I assume?
Yeah, basically because of the religious implications. And there was one woman, I forget her name, but basically she kind of, like, invented the concept of modern hospice care. Like, before that, it was just kind of, take him home, whatever. Like, she kind of invented the concept of treating death with dignity in a medical setting. As crazy as that sounds.
I like how that had to be invented.
Oh, yeah, and it had to be invented in, like, the 50s.
Right.
But in any case, so she was obviously, like, a big deal because she was this amazing pioneer. But, like, the last, I think, 20 years of her life, she kind of devoted to studying near-death experiences because they kept coming up in her work on hospice care. And that basically kind of got her, like, blacklisted by the scientific community. Like, no one wanted to publish her like, near-death experience stuff. No one wanted to talk about tunnels or anything like that. So it's nice that we've sort of come a long ways since then, where people are willing to talk about near-death experiences and willing to, and in this case it was just a death experience, but we were able to see that, maybe this validates what some near-death experiencers have been saying.
Yeah, we've come to a point where scientists are allowed to have an imagination.
Right. Yeah.
Blacklisted by the science community, and now we got, like, I always say his name wrong, but Michiro Kaku.
Oh, yeah.
Michio Kaku.
Talking about, could aliens exist? Near-death experience is a big one for him. And real credible interpreters, I don't know. Well, we talked about this in the last segment. Neil deGrasse Tyson is the head of the Hayden Planetarium, isn't he?
Right.
So
I'm just saying that
does
he's
that
not,
not
like,
make him a scientist?
Well, like, certainly he is a trained scientist, just like
he's not actively sciencing.
Well, yeah, I don't know that he's doing any research anymore. I don't know that he's publishing anything. Yeah, I don't know that he's part of like the process of discovery, which I mean, I'm not coming down on him. I think what he's doing
where
is
we draw the line, and maybe we need a word for these interpreters because, in my opinion, it's a noble job.
Exactly. Yeah, I think
maybe we need a word for them so that people don't go like, oh, because my brother-in-law, his name is Bong. So Bong, he was basically a scientist for years when I first
Mhm.
married Terry, and knew him because basically he did daily blood research on diabetes, basically testing blood every day, and he hated it. He wanted a better job.
Right.
You know.
No, most researchers sucks as a job.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he liked the nobility part of it. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, he didn't like be all like, "Oh, I'm wasting my life helping people with diabetes." You know, it's like,
No, but like the compensation is bad,
right,
as are
yeah,
as are the hours and the benefits and everything else that you look for in a job.
right, right. And plus, he had gone to school to be a teacher that teaches people going to school about brain surgery, about neuroscience. So he had his degree in teaching neuroscience, whatever that is. I don't expect you to
Neuroscience?
know.
I don't know.
Right.
But-
But, you know, let's say your life does flash before your eyes at the end of your life. How does that help?
Yeah, I don't know
Why
that
is
it's
this something that we even need to know? I guess.
well.
Yeah.
I think we don't know.
until you know.
It could be that whatever brain mechanism is responsible for your life flashing before your eyes is like responsible for basic cognition too. It could be that this tells us like something big about the way the brain works. We don't know yet. It's part of something that other scientists later will be able to refer to. Like, it's one puzzle piece. It's like picking up one puzzle piece from a jigsaw puzzle and saying, well, this seems useless. But
Well,
you put it all together and now you have a picture.
when I was like in 7th grade, I was not an athletic kid. I was playing D&D a lot. Wore a trench coat.
Too.
I had a briefcase with my D&D stuff in it.
Yes.
Huge.
Oh, I love it.
And in PE we had wrestling. And this kid, I don't know, we were 7th grade. This kid must have been over 200 pounds. Huge.
Right.
And I mean, he was a overweight kid, but he was also a big kid,
Sure.
He was just a big
like
kid.
A wrestler build.
Right, yeah. And I had to wrestle this dude in a stinky math room that was converted to the wrestling room for the week, and I lost in like 20 seconds. And there was a lot of smells and pains and feelings in there. And am I going to have to relive that? Is that one of the things? So that's one of the things I want to know. Do I get to relive the good stuff, or do I have to relive wrestling that kid in 7th grade?
God, I don't know. I mean, it's not clear from this thing, as I understand it. Like near-death experiencers who have had this experience, but then like lived at the last second they survived.
Mm-hmm.
I think have said it was like their most important memories, but some have said no, it was my whole life. So I don't know. I think you need to make your peace with that memory.
All right.
Or just not die suddenly.